Good evening, folks. This is Deb Della Piana, and this is your short take. So I'm talking to everybody out there who is a working class person, everybody out there who is a person of color, whether you're an African American, I know people like to be called Black Americans, whatever you want to call yourselves, anybody who's Latino or Latina, anyone out there who's LGBTQ, transgender, just everybody basically who isn't an elite, and women, especially women of childbearing age, but women who may be out of childbearing age. You all need to care about what happens to the women who are of childbearing age, because ultimately what the GOP is doing is not just controlling your reproductive system. Their whole goal is to control women. We're going to talk some real turkey here tonight, okay? The Republican Party holds nothing for any of you people. I want to remind you that during the debt ceiling crisis, the manufactured crisis, the GOP MAGA manufactured crisis that Kevin McCarthy so willingly carried through for them, he threw every single person I just mentioned in the opening of this video under the bus, okay? The GOP threw every one of you under the bus. They talked about cutting Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. I don't know about you, but I live on my Social Security. And I'm still working now. I'm 1 year away from 70 years old. And I'm still working now, and I'm still paying Social Security taxes. I've been paying Social Security taxes since I was 15 years old. That's when I started working. That's how long I've been working. They have no right to touch my fucking money, okay? And I'd like to remind all of you people right now that they just filed another bill to give the wealthiest people in this country a tax break while throwing breadcrumbs at the rest of us. I'd like to remind the veterans out there that they were ready to cut your money. If we had gone into default, I would not have gotten my Social Security check. Veterans would not have gotten theirs. My disabled child would not have gotten hers. I would like you to understand, ladies, that the GOP right now is requiring a purity test on a nationwide ban on abortion. And as I've said to women who are out of the childbearing years, you ought to care about them. You may have grandchildren who are women. You may have friends who have children who are of childbearing years. And at the end of the day, this is about more than controlling just a woman's reproductive system. They want to control women, period. They would prefer women not be in the workforce competing for men's jobs. They would prefer, in some cases, that women don't have the right to vote. There are people out there who say that all of our problems started in America when they gave women the right to vote. I'd like to remind all of you about this. All of the Latino people who may have voted for Ron DeSantis in Florida, I'd like to understand that. I have people that I know who are from Cuba who don't understand it. How many of you came from an oppressive society to Florida for freedom and are now in the back? You're in the boat with Ron DeSantis, a man who is turning Florida into a fascist haven. Florida is a living nightmare for most people. And yet people continue to go on vacation there and throw money into his coffers. People continue to retire there. People, by the way, that the GOP don't care about. If you think the GOP cares about retirees who aren't wealthy, you're wrong. They don't. Or they wouldn't be trying to cut Social Security. Let me reiterate that again. I'll reiterate it as many times as you need me to. Students. They took away Biden's program to alleviate student debt. They offer nothing to the middle class people in this country on either side of the coin. If you are a average, everyday GOP voter and you're voting for them, I have to question your sanity. They're not going to do anything for you. You're running strictly on ideology. Look what they're doing across this nation to transgender people. That is a denial of health care. This government has no right to get involved in a decision made between a woman, her doctor, and whoever her significant other may be, if there is one. Having to carry a rapist child to term is disgusting. It's inexcusable. Forget the goddamn Bible. The Bible doesn't run this country, whether you like that or not. I don't care if you're from the Bible Belt. I don't care where you are. Insinuating yourself into a family whose child is transgender and telling them that you can't get your child appropriate care. Putting your child in danger of committing suicide. That is not the government's role. That should never be the government's role. You want to talk about weaponizing the government and government overreach? What could be more weaponized and more government overreach than them getting involved in your personal fucking health care? It is none of your business what anyone else does with their body. Mind your own goddamn business. If people minded their own goddamn business, this world would be a lot easier to live in. People invoking religion. I'm tired of hearing it. Religion doesn't belong in government decisions. It never did. There is a separation between church and state for a reason, no matter what the bonehead tells you from Colorado. Lauren Boebert wouldn't know what the Bible said if it smacked her upside the head. All she does is cherry pick phrases, just like everything else she does. People better wake up here. You know, I guess fascism isn't enough to get you to vote, but maybe if I put it right in your backyard, it will be enough to get you to vote. If you are an everyday workaday person, maybe you do have a retirement program from your company. But unless you're a billionaire, you don't count. If you're earning $100,000 a year, they don't give a damn about you. They're about to give tax cuts again to the people like Elon Musk, Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, Peter Thiel, the man who funds fascists on behalf of the GOP. Those people are going to get tax breaks. You know, the people who we raised the debt ceiling to pay off the last tax break, because anyone who makes you believe that this debt ceiling increase had anything to do with Joe Biden's budget, they're lying to you. We're paying off old debt. Joe Biden's budget hasn't started spending money yet. We're paying off old debt. We're paying off the last trillionaire tax break. And now they've already filed for another one. And the House will pass it. Why? Because the MAGA GOP is in the majority in that House, because you allowed them to take control. You, the voters, who only voted at 52% in the midterms. We should never, I'll say it again, I've been saying it for a long time, with a 9-seat lead, we should never have lost the House of Representatives. Okay? We could have held the House and expanded the Senate by 1 seat, and we're doing a whole lot better right now. You just made it an uphill climb for any progressive change in this country by not voting. So anyone who tells you that your vote doesn't matter is lying to you. If you don't believe that, take a look at Arizona. Take a look at the vote numbers in Arizona. If you go on to the YouTube website later and watch this video there, I will put that in there so you can see it. Those 17,000 votes prevented Arizona from looking like Florida right now. The difference between Katie Hobbs and Carrie Lake. So don't let people tell you your vote doesn't count. Every single vote with fascism on our doorstep is critical at every single level of government, starting at the school board all the way up through the presidency. It is do or die time in America. If we do not take back the House and the Senate and win the presidency in 2024, there will never be another free and fair election in this country. Get a clue. Tomorrow there'll be another video. We're going to talk about the progressive fantasy of a competitive primary. That's tomorrow's topic. I'll talk to you later.